Ladies and gentlemen, good day. My name is Dr. Piol-Salazar, and I am honored to have the opportunity to present our research study. I am the Campus Executive Director of the Mindoro State University, Bungabong Campus, and the topic of our research revolves around customary laws in local governance of Buhid Mangyan in the province of Oriental Mindoro, Philippines. Throughout my academic journey, I have developed a keen interest in customary laws of Mangyan tribes in the province. I believe that research is a powerful tool that allows us to explore, analyze, and contribute to the existing body of knowledge in our respective fields. Today, I am excited to share with you the key findings and conclusions of our research, and I hope that our work contributes to the existing body of knowledge and sparks further discussions and investigations in this field. I also hope that my presentation inspires and motivates others to engage in research and explore the endless possibilities it offers. I would like to express my gratitude to my co-author, Ms. Noemi B. Jung, and my Minsu family. Without further ado, let us delve into the details of our research. The title of our research, Preserving the Cultural Identity, a study of Buhid customary laws in Oriental Mindoro, Philippines. Senator Loren Ligarda once said, indigenous cultures are the soul of the Filipino. These are treasures that are unique to us, that makes us distinct from other nations. This research aspires to contribute appreciation, recognition, and safeguarding the Buhid Mangyan community's customary laws in local governance by understanding the challenges that this community encountered in preserving their cultural identity and foster understanding of the unique traditional practices. Opening the door, broadening the access of education, and redefining the future. The Mindoro State University, or the MINSU, takes its place towards a journey of quality education. The existence of MINSU in the province of Oriental Mindoro has surmounted several challenges and tests of determination, courage, and optimism. MINSU Bungabong Campus is located in the 2nd District of Oriental Mindoro. The municipality of Bungabong is a first-class municipality composed of 36 barangays and 253 sitios. Part of the 966 hectares land area of Barangay Labasan is the Mindoro State University Satellite Campus, which offers 9-degree programs. To date, we have a population of almost 2,600 students, including the indigenous peoples. It is our pride and honor to have the BS Fisheries as our flagship program because Minsu Bungabong Campus is the only HEI offering the same. And we believe that education is about improving the lives of others and leaving the community and the world better than we found it. The research locale of this study is at Batangan, Bungabong, a southern part of the province of Oriental Mindoro, Philippines. Batangan is surrounded by huge mountains, thus walking long distance is normal for Buhid Mangyan community. David J. Bederman in 2010 says, all law begins with customs, which means that customary laws started in the daily living of the Buhid tribe and religiously followed by the people and are inseparable from them that leads to customs and became the basis for indigenous people's customary laws. For the framework of this study, the 1987 Constitution provides that the state recognizes and promotes the rights of indigenous cultural communities within the framework of national unity and development. Recognizing and promoting their rights, including their cultural, social, economic, and political rights, is essential for upholding the principles of human rights and equality. It ensures that indigenous communities are not marginalized, or discriminated against, and guarantees their equal participation in the nation's development. The Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act, known as IPRA, recognizes the four set of rights of the indigenous peoples. The indigenous peoples' rights to their ancestral domains include the lands, territories, and resources traditionally occupied and used by the indigenous communities. The recognition of self-governance and self-determinations empower them to participate actively in local governance, policy making, and development planning, ensuring their concerns and interests are taken into account. The right of IPs in social justice and human rights safeguards their rights to equality, non-discrimination, and protection from all forms of violence, exploitation, and marginalization. The IPRA acknowledges and protects their cultural identity in order to maintain, develop, and transmit their cultural heritage, languages, traditions, and knowledge system for future generations. By recognizing and upholding these four sets of rights, the IPRA ensures that indigenous peoples are respected, empowered, and included in the nation's social, economic, and political fabric. It promotes a more equitable and inclusive society where indigenous peoples can thrive while preserving their unique cultural heritage and way of life. For the conceptual framework of our study, we use the input, process, output. In the input, we have the customary laws in local governance of Buhid Mangyan. For the process, we have the in-depth interview, the focus group discussion, non-participatory observation, and documentary analysis. And for the output, the intergenerational knowledge transmission of customary laws, which is basically based on our study. For the objectives of this study aimed to determine the customary laws in local governance of Buhid Mangyan. This study aimed to discover the traditional structure of leadership among Buhid Mangyan community, the roles and responsibility of community leaders in local governance, the key features of laws governing local governance in terms of marriage, inheritance, and theft, and the challenges faced by the elders in preserving their customary laws. For the methodology, we use a qualitative approach. We used interview, FGD, non-participatory observation, and documentary analysis. To ensure that research activities adhere to the ethical guidelines, the researchers obtained informed consent from the participant, respected the cultural protocols, and protected the confidentiality and privacy of individuals involved in the study. For the results and discussion, the traditional structure of leadership of Buhid Mangyan is primarily based on their cultural and social customs. Traditionally, they have decentralized leadership systems characterized by a combination of egalitarianism and a respect for elders. The community is typically organized into small, self-governing villages known as barangays. Within each barangay, decision-making and leadership responsibilities are being shared by the leaders. The political structure of Buhid Mangyan is unique. The river defines a cluster composed of a number of associated communities. They are governed by a gurangon, also known as tanungan. The gurangon or tanungan are leaders for each big leader. Each community is headed by a sitio leader called tahinan. Up to date, their leadership is based on election, and these leaders are responsible for the management of their ancestral domain. In the selection of leaders, the Buhid Mangyan follows traditional practices. Elders play a vital role in the selection of leaders. Undeniably, their wisdom and experience are respected and undeniably had an influence in the decision-making process. The fundamental aspect of selection process is basically through consensus building, where they are typically involve consultation and discussions among the community leaders. For the qualities of leaders in the context of local governance, Buhid Mangyan valued the ability of a leader to foster development and well-being of the community, especially in agriculture, traditional practices, and conflict resolution. The character and demonstration of leadership qualities were also given importance. They choose leaders who they believe possess knowledge and wisdom in the customs and traditional practices. Someone who upholds honesty and good faith, integrity, respect traditional values, demonstrate empathy to the community members, and an advocate of social justice. Sadik Habanan Buhid Incorporated is a recognized group of the Buhid tribe in a part of Oriental Mindoro. The organization was a SEC registered. It is a non-stock, non-profit organization established in 1982. The same was also registered in the Bureau of Workers under the Department of Labor and Employment, and was recognized by the local government through the Office of the Governor, the DNR, and the NCIP. It plays a big role as it represents their sectoral programs in local special bodies and local legislative bodies. The term of officers of the organization is 3 years and can be re-elected for 2 consecutive terms. Buhid Mangyan has high expectations in their leaders. They are expected to know the plans and be able to implement policies within their community. Sadik Habangan is composed of the following: the Tagasuri, who is considered as the custodian of traditional knowledge and culture. Aside from this, dispute resolution, planning and budgeting and development projects in their community lies in the Kasuri. Tagapangulo assumes a role in leadership and governance. He provides vision and direction by taking into account the welfare of his community. Equipped with knowledge and wisdom, he represents the tribe in external settings and participates in decision-making process. He plays a vital role in resource management, dispute resolution, and collaboration with other organizations and external entities. Pangalawang Pangulo supports the Pangulo. The Vice President fosters dialogues to ensure that the concerns of the community are being heard and addressed. He also facilitates communication between the tribe and external entities. The Kalihem or secretary ensures that all records and communications are accurate, organized, and well-maintained. Aside from this, she is tasked to assist in community engagement and support activities which fosters participation of the community. The Ingat Yaman or the treasurer is responsible in maintaining the accurate financial records and documentation. She usually prepares reports to provide transparency and accountability in the community. The Buhid Mangyan follows customary laws in marriage, inheritance, and theft. Marriage of Buhid Mangyan often involves the consents of both parties and their families. Today, rituals are no longer being practiced unless the Buhid Mangyan marries someone who do not belong in their tribe. Multiple spouses are allowed in Buhid tribe. This practice rooted in their beliefs and cultural traditions. They usually grill a pig for afo daga. A man may have a multiple wife in one roof as long as his means can provide the needs of his family and with the consent or agreement of all the parties involved. In case of disagreements, the community leaders often settle the dispute through mediation. Inheritance. The customary distribution of inheritance usually happens when the sibling have their own family. To prevent disputes and disagreements, the parents were encouraged to identify the specific property of each sibling. If the parents died without the partition of inheritance, the heirs may enter into an agreement for the distribution of the same. In case of conflict, the leaders or elders ensures a fair and just distribution of inherited properties. The buhid mangyan may disinherit his compulsory heirs by any of the following grounds: resentment, violation of traditional practices, failure to fulfill duties and responsibilities, harmful actions, and lack of kinship. Theft. Restitution and compensation are among the remedies available to the plaintiff. If the accused committed theft for several times, they bring the matter to the barangay. If no one admits to the commission of the offense, a ritual called tandaan will be performed. The primary purpose of this ritual is to know the real author of the offense. Fauyungan, which is the first form of tandaan, is done by slitting the neck of a chicken. And if the beak will point to the suspect, Puhid Mangyan believes that the latter committed the offense. The second form of tandaan is through a boiling water, where the plaintiff and the accused were required to soak and get a stone in a boiling hot water in a pot. And whoever gets hurt, he or she is telling a lie. Buhid Mangyan community faced challenges in preserving their customary laws and cultural practices. Modernization impacted the cultural traditions of the Buhid Mangyan community. New ideas of values, practices inevitably influence the community, especially new generation. Technology affects the norms and attitudes of the Buhid Mangyan towards customary laws. Changes in the dynamics of the community make it more challenging for the elders to preserve and enforce their cultural practices and customary laws. The change in lifestyle and aspirations of younger generation creates intergenerational gap and results in a disconnected traditional customs and practices. By understanding the challenges and opportunities in preserving their cultural heritage, we hope to foster a greater understanding of Buhid Mangyan's unique traditions. For the conclusion, the Buhid Mangyan community practiced the customary laws in local governance, but there were some external threats which affect the preservation of traditional practices in local governance. Limitations. The study covers the structure of leadership challenges and selected customary laws in local governance, in marriage, inheritance, and theft of the Buhid Mangyan. Other conflict resolution issues are highly confidential, especially those disputes involving ancestral domain of Buhid Mangyan, and this restricted the study in customary laws in local governance. Given the limitations of this study, the future researchers may conduct similar studies related to customary laws. Further study may consider the status of traditional practices and beliefs of the Buhid Mangyan in Mindoro. The result of this study can be a basis of the local government unit or the LGU in their plans to facilitate intergenerational knowledge transmission through dialogues with the elders and the leaders of the Buhid Mangyan community. We recommend that the higher education institution may, in coordination with the local government unit and the Buhid tribe elders and leaders, facilitate public awareness campaign to showcase the importance and the value of customary laws in local governance of Buhid Mangyan. These activities may include storytelling sessions, cultural workshops, traditional ceremonies, and community celebrations where knowledge and wisdom are shared. The higher education institution and the local government unit may incorporate cultural education through school programs or activities, teaching Buhid Mangyan history, language, customs, and traditional knowledge. And by incorporating these aspects into education through conduct of different activities, we can ensure that our younger generations will have a deeper understanding and appreciation for their cultural heritage, fostering a sense of pride and identity. So these are the bibliography of our study. I hope that the findings of this research will contribute to a deeper understanding and appreciation of the Buhid Mangyan's governance system. By recognizing the value of their customary laws, we can work towards promoting cultural diversity, social justice, and the rights of indigenous communities. Thank you very much. Hiraya Manawari.